Where's my rain, Dean?
Well, we're going to find out that we're going to get that answered for you there, Parker. Welcome back to Weather and Ag in Focus. 107 right now. It's pretty mild outside. Temperatures are quite nice, Dean. 83, but the most important thing is...
Where's my rain, Dean?
I think we've all had a little too much
He's becoming
rain.
a star on our air here.
He sure is. For a few more days until
we're going to have to get T-shirts made
with
that on
I
it.
like the idea. Where's my rain?
There you go. Does Parker get any credit for that? Does he get any kickback from
Absolutely not.
that? Okay, just checking. Because you know he's going to ask.
I'll give him a couple dollars.
All right. Per shirt?
No, for the idea as a whole. Sorry, Parker.
Yeah, well, Parker, if you're wanting any rain in the forecast, you're pretty much out of luck until early next week for the most part. You might have an isolated pop-up storm over your farm here over the weekend, but 90% of us are going to be dry, and it's almost impossible to say where those isolated pop-up storms may occur. But again, 90% of us are going to be dry. Beautiful day out there right now. A few cumulus clouds, temperatures right now in the lower 80s. Pretty much steadied off. We might see a tick up in temps a degree or so, but we're looking at low to mid 80s across the central and southern valley, where otherwise temperatures in the upper 70s to lower 80s. A little breezy out there with west-northwest winds. Kicking up to about 25 in some areas, and we'll continue with a beautiful day out there. Humidity levels a little bit high, but those should be coming down a little bit as well. And then we'll clear things out tonight down to 60, and northwest wind continues tomorrow, but a little bit warmer, mid-80s, and then, boy, the weekend looking great. Upper 80s Saturday, right around 90 on Sunday. Humidity levels will be increasing over the weekend. Now, there is a chance for storms Monday and Tuesday. Our latest models are trying to push this front through the area by Tuesday, which would leave Tuesday afternoon and overnight dry, which is good for the fireworks. Now, we'll see if that trend holds through because, well, the earlier model runs were trying to hold that front up in our area through the 4th of July, which would give us a continued chance of storms. But right now, it's pushing the front south, so fingers crossed. But Monday night looks or Monday late in the day into Monday night looks like we could have some widespread thunderstorms. Some of those could be strong. We'll keep an eye on that for you. Because we're both working Monday, aren't we?
Yeah, we're both working on Monday, Dean.
It's not a holiday. Our company doesn't give Monday as a holiday. The government does.
But
government employees have off on Monday and Tuesday. PTO.
Yeah, physical therapy appointment.
Ooh, I could have no, because she's off Monday. I'd have to use a different excuse.
Well, I could also stand for personal time.
No, we got to save that. Save that for later this year.
Well, phone numbers to the program. If you want to reach out to us, join in on the conversation, ask us some questions, talk about anything, really. Share a story. 701-293-9000 is the Red Wing Shoes phone line. And I got to say a big thank you to Red Wing because they hooked me up with a sweet deal on some new boots. We were trekking through our field yesterday.
You needed those yesterday.
For the Here We Grow project. And if you're watching the stream on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and as well as on Acres TV, we got quite a bit of water out there, over 2 inches of rain over the last handful of days, and even as recently, a couple tenths of an inch, or a tenth, I should say, inch on our field. And it is super muddy out there. I could feel myself growing, getting taller with every single step I took. So yeah, we went out there because if you remembered from last week, if you've been watching...
It looks a little muddy out. If you're watching on live stream.
Oh, you can see it looks like I'm wearing cinder blocks because of how much dirt I'm kicking or mud. Oh, man. That's after I got all the bulk of it off, too. But last week we went out there and we found out that they had put a road right through our property. And it takes up about 2 acres is what we were able to determine. And they buried all of our soybeans under that 2-acre stretch where that 16, 20-foot road is going all the way down our field. And so we had Jim come out there and meet us, who is our farming co-op. He's the one that's renting us the land to farm on. And he said, well, I probably shouldn't give it away. We'll talk a little bit more about it on Friday and Monday. But he explained what's going on, and we have been able to figure something out in return for that road being put in there. And we also found out whether or not if it's going to be there when it comes to harvest time. So if you want all those information or all those questions answered, you can head over to our YouTube page and hit that subscribe button. We upload episodes every single Friday, as well as a couple of shorts every week as well that kind of promote the upcoming week's videos. So you can go check that out. They're also available on Facebook as well. Just search Weather and Ag in Focus. And, we got a fun guest coming up on the show today. It's another recurring guest, and this is actually last minute. We weren't sure if we were going to be able to get this person on with us until they were able to confirm last night. But someone who's been on the show numerous times, and he's been on a few specials that we do throughout the year, and that's Gary Lezak, meteorologist, former Kansas City head meteorologist, now with always been with Weather 2020. He's going to be joining us at 1:20 this afternoon to get a little update on the LRC, get an update around the area, what's the rest of the year looking like, and probably dive into some severe weather setups that might be happening and maybe touch on hurricanes as well. So if you want to get queued up for that, again, the phone numbers for the program are 701-293-9000. It's your chance to ask him any question you want about the LRC. He'll be able to answer it. We can probably answer it, but if you've been waiting for maybe a specific update on a specific area, now is your chance to get that question answered. Of course, you can always email us too. No guarantees we'll get to all of them, but weather@flagfamily.com. You can shoot us emails through there.
Yeah, we're still waiting for Gary to connect.
He'll be connecting here shortly. He won't be on for about another 7 to 8 minutes. But
if you have any questions, make sure shoot us a call, shoot us an email, and I know there's a lot of farmers up in our area that have Gary's service, and now's the time to ask him some questions. I'm sure a lot of our farmers are probably a little busy, but. You can always email us the questions as well, and we can pass those along to Gary. We'll kind of touch on what does the rest of the summer kind of look like? How has the LRC been this spring season? And we just entered summer. How has it been? I know there's been a lot of blocking in the atmosphere, and that has kind of put a little bit of a monkey wrench into things, either slowing systems down, putting them off a day or two. So we'll be talking to Gary a little bit about that as well. There's also, I think we're going to hit on, there was a great article published by Rice University. Which kind of
about that.
Yeah, which kind of ties into Gary's theory. So, and just in a nutshell, that climate scientists have now realized that the weather cycles in patterns odd over the North and South poles. And so this just leads further credence to Gary's theory on the LRC about how weather does indeed cycle in patterns. So it was good to see that now the climate scientists have found this out as well. So again, it wasn't a big surprise to Gary or us, but it's nice to see that it's catching on, if you will. Mm-hmm. I guess that's one way to put it.
It is definitely catching on. I'm going to throw ag topic out before we head to our break and we get Gary on. If you want to send an email to weather@flagfamily.com or sneak in here in the next couple of minutes, 701-293-9000, on what the crop is looking like on your farm. Are you happy with where it's at right now? Did the rain come just in time? Was it a little too late? We were taking a look at our soybeans yesterday. I asked Jim, I'm like, hey, years past, for this time of year, what's our crop looking like? Are we at par or are we below par? What's it looks like? He's like, I think that it looks really good for where we're at right now.
Majority. Now, I did get an email, and we'll be asking Gary about this on what the LRC is looking at. There's a little pocket, and literally like a 75-mile radius in the tri-state area of far southeastern North Dakota, northeastern South Dakota, and west central Minnesota there, from Wahpeton into northeastern South Dakota and west central Minnesota, where they haven't received much rain. I mean, while on this last system, the last big system last week, where most of us received 2 to 3 inches of rain, it was only about a half inch to an inch in that little 75-mile radius pocket of the tri-state region down there. So I know one of the farmers emailed me. He's like, man, we really need the rain in Wahpeton. It's been really dry here. It's been really dry in areas of the Central Plains, too, where they have just not gotten the rain. Now they're in kind of the target zone in parts of Nebraska, Iowa, Illinois, the areas that have been really, really dry. Now they're finally playing a little bit of catch-up. It might be a little late on some of those crops, but the rain will definitely help down there. So it's coming up on break now. When we come back, we'll have Gary Lezak, the founder of the LRC and CEO of Weather 2020. Again, if you have any questions, shoot us a call, 701-293-9000 if you have any questions for Gary, or shoot us an email, weather@flagfamily.com. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
News Talk Radio 970 WDAY. Hi, meteorologist Justin Storm. Every afternoon, my forecasts let you know how the afternoon weather is going to go and that all-important ride home from work. In all 4 seasons, that's the reason you listen. Weather changes fast, and I'll give you the current conditions as well as what the evening will look like so you can make decisions on the plans you've made. Don't forget Weather and Ag Radio every day at 1 p.m. right here on WDAY.
Why work anywhere seasonally when you can work somewhere like Foltz Buildings? Foltz Buildings is a family-orientated business that treats you like one of their own. That's what you experience when you join the Foltz Building team in Detroit Lakes, Minnesota. They're growing and looking for full-time, hard-working post-frame construction crews, offering a $1,500 sign-on bonus, great health insurance and incentives after 90 days, phenomenal profit-sharing, retirement, and more. Call Foltz Buildings for more information or apply online at foltzbuildings.com.
What happens when you have tire problems on the farm? It's Welton's Tire Service for farm equipment repair, with on-site repairs on the farm that get you back to work faster. Farm equipment, tire repairs, and tire replacement, and all farm equipment is welcome. You can depend on Welton's Tire Service for prompt, professional service for all your on-the-farm, on-site tire service. Welton's Tire Service, located on Main Street in Lisbon, North Dakota, or give them a call at 701-683-5136. That's Welton's Tire Service.
With the news these days, it can be hard to ignore all the stresses around us. But it's nothing a sip or two of North Dakota Sweet Crude can't help with. That smooth cinnamon and spice moonshine recipe helps you to relax at the end of a crazy day. It's good to know that you can still step back and relax with a drink created at a simpler time. Try a Dakota Sweet Lemonade or a Dakota Sour, 2 of more than 50 recipes made with North Dakota Sweet Crude or Sweet Crude Orange. Find them at crudespirits.com.
You want a fun night out with the family or just a great place to hang out with the guys? Fargo Billiards and Gastropub has all the fun under one roof. Foosball, ping pong, shuffleboard, pinball, darts, beanbags, bubble hockey, and of course, pool tables galore. They have delicious food and your favorite beverages to wash it all down. It's a super fun atmosphere and a great place to hang out with friends. Open for lunch or dinner every day. Fargo Billiards and Gastropub, just west of I-29 on 32nd Avenue South in Fargo.
Mid-America Steel is looking for a full-time experienced truck driver. Hours are 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. with overtime available. You must have a clean driving record. Starting pay, $25 to $26 per hour. Company paid 401k, 9 paid holidays. Company paid $25,250 term life insurance policy, short-term disability, paid vacation, and safety boot and prescription safety glasses allowance. This is the job you're looking for. Email resume to John, SIMO, at midamsteel.com.
Let the Goose River Bank become your community bank. They believe a strong bank builds strong communities and would be proud to be your bank.
And welcome back to Weather and Ag in Focus. I want to thank everybody for joining us. 1:20 in the afternoon, a beautiful, beautiful afternoon.
How beautiful is it, Dean?
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, as
nice.
Mr. Rogers would say. Just a few fair weather cumulus clouds out there.
That's real nice. That is beautiful.
Temperatures in the low 80s. What great weather we have coming just in time for the 4th of July weekend. And we want to bring back one of our guests who is often on WAG, Weather and Ag in Focus. I want to welcome Gary Lezak back to the show. Gary, welcome. And how is it now? You have moved since we talked last time. You are living out in the great state of Colorado. What a beautiful state out there.
I left the drought-plagued area of eastern Kansas. Kansas City got missed again by a major thunderstorm complex, so it is great to be away from Kansas City that gets nothing. I mean, it's sad. It's tough for the farmers out there, eastern Kansas and western Missouri. Now, one county north, though, 3 inches of rain this morning up there. But here in Lakewood, Colorado, our new Weather 2020 offices, guys, we've had thunderstorms. I've seen snow in the last 3 weeks up in the mountains.
Hey, good for you.
Yeah, thank you. That's why I moved here. I want to be in a place where it snows. And people say, like what you would probably say, oh, it'll snow.
Oh, yeah. Just wait. So, Gary, so obviously most everybody knows who you are. You're the founder of the LRC, the Lezak Recurring Cycle. And Justin and I were talking about before you came on. I mean, you've known this for over 20 years that weather does cycle in patterns. And how gratifying is it to see this article that was posted, I believe, a week or so ago from Rice University, that climate scientists have now discovered that, oh my goodness, weather cycles. it goes in cycling patterns. So how did you feel when you were reading that?
Well, it's always a little bit frustrating because I've been working on it for 35 years. And before me, Jerome DeMaias back in the 1940s and 50s, he had discovered that there's this index cycle that lasts weeks at a time. What he didn't realize is that the pattern then repeats over and over again. These two Rice scientists, climate scientists, stumbled across down in the Antarctic oscillation that there seems to be this 150-day cycle that's regular. So, in other words, an order to the chaos. They are scratching the surface on what we are bringing to you here with the LRC and what we have been for the last few years up in North Dakota. And I'm proud that hopefully you farmers out there are spreading the word about the LRC. It is the best predictive model out there. I know Justin and Dean will back me up on this. The LRC is the centerpiece of the big atmospheric puzzle. And there are other influences. The AAO, I have it down there on that puzzle way down on the bottom. That is what those guys have discovered. And it may be a few more years before they realize that the westerly belt, where 90% of the population lives, actually has an order to the chaos. So it's still frustrating, Dean and Justin, as you can imagine, as we get this word out. At the same time, it's fulfilling. I was interviewed for a show that may air this fall if we do it, World's Greatest Television. So they want to talk about Weather 2020 and LRC being the world's greatest weather system. So that would be a good program to be on, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
But they interviewed me this morning. So that's exciting. So yes, frustrating and at the same time, okay, to our peers out there.
Right.
You guys, maybe there's order to this.
There absolutely is. And so tell us about the LRC this year. We've had, which doesn't happen often in the summertime, but we've had a lot of blocking in the atmosphere. Now that's, you get that in the wintertime, but boy, oh boy, to have the blocking that we've had during this summer.
The magnitude of it.
Yeah. How has that affected the LRC and its forecasting so far? Well, we just entered summer, but spring into early summer here.
Yeah, and if you are a Substack customer, and that's weather2020.substack.com, someone just joined a few minutes ago. It costs $300 a year, but you get great insights. And if you are, then I've been talking about this blocking for a long time. The blocking has existed at times during the winter. There was evidence that it was going to happen as we went into May and June. But then in mid to late April, this block formed. So the LRC is a description of the river of air flowing above us all the way across the northern hemisphere. And there's another cycle in the southern hemisphere. All right, so this river of air is up there, and it's flowing about every 7 weeks. It recycles every 7 weeks. We're in the 6th cycle of the pattern. When a block forms, it's like a big boulder. You watch a river, and all of a sudden this big huge log in the pattern gets stuck and lodged, and it causes the flow to go around it to the top and underneath it, but it can't break through it. So it blocks part of the pattern. However, the LRC continues. The weather pattern continues to cycle on schedule. Maybe it speeds up a little bit when the block breaks down and catches up, but it affects the pattern. It affected tornado season. So March, there were more tornadoes than there were in May. And then June even with the blocking, because I guess it was more humid, the humidity was more prevalent across the United States, June has been twice as active as May and April. And so you can go see that chart. I just posted, follow me on Twitter at G Lezak. I posted a couple of really cool graphs. And if you see it, retweet it. And it's really a cool little graph to show you how tornado season just ramped up in June. Usually tornado season ends by about July 1st. So we'll still have some severe weather.
I got a question.
But yes, the block has affected us, guys.
It really has. So when we talk about the LRC and we talk about that it recycles, and we've identified that to be around 50 days or so, give or take, and people hear the number 50 and they're like, 50 every 50 days. And that's how we do our forecast months out into advance, is by using that number that's identified for however long the cycle is. But when you get this blocking to occur, it can speed up and it can slow down that cycle. So it's not really that everything happens on 50 days, but it oscillates maybe by 48 to 52 days. And that would be what we've been going through these last few weeks with the blocks, is the systems either get deflected to the north, or the incoming system that should have come through is slowed down by a few days because it can't move through that block. And that's what I think we've been running into with a little bit on our calendars that we issued, is that they're off. These last weeks, they've been off by about a day or two. Do you think that the pattern is going to correct itself now that these blocks have kind of weakened and moved out of the area?
Justin, you talk about a day or two off or 3 days off. It might be 48 to 52 is really precise. 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 49, 50, 51 are the best ones you can do. But if it's a day or two off, that's fine. If we're predicting a thunderstorm at 4 p.m. and we're an hour or two off today, that's acceptable. So it came at 5 and not at 3. If you predict a storm system and 50 days out, it ends up being 49 days out or 48 days out, that's absolutely acceptable, because it is a river of air. Mm-hmm. It's not as precise as astronomical cycles. In astronomy, we know the Earth's going to rotate every 24 hours. And that is going to be on schedule every day. The river of air is a river, and so it flows. It's a flow, and it oscillates a little bit. So it can vary by a day or 2 or 3, or because of the block, it may go way down to the south and hit Oklahoma and Texas and miss North Dakota. So the system that you're expecting, when there are these blocks, maybe they miss. We're showing right now a graphic of what's happened in the last 7 days, and parts of North Dakota are in really great shape, as you guys can tell me. 1, 2, 3, 4 inches of rain fell, and here's the close-in version of it. But then you go out to Williston, out in western North Dakota and Minot and northward. Some spots only have had a trace of rain in the last 7 days, whereas the southern and eastern parts of North Dakota have had deluges, whereas around Fargo, the north side, quite a bit of rain, the south side not so much. Mm-hmm. So it still varies, and the summer variations, there's a lot of pressure on these thunderstorm complexes during the summer. How is the corn in your area and the soybeans in your area now?
Well, in fact, Justin was just out in the field yesterday, and it's doing really, really well up here. And again, there's that little pocket down just to the south of Fargo, Wahpeton, into northeastern parts of South Dakota and west central Minnesota, where they haven't got that much rain. And if you, Mike, if you want to pull up that graphic that you just had last 7 days, there's a little pocket of that drier, and when I say drier, you can see just south of Fargo there, they've picked up. It's been about an inch, which you would think, hey, that's not bad, but it's been super dry in a very small area down there. We've gotten a couple of our farmers down in Wahpeton said, hey, we really need a lot more rain. So for the majority of us, it's doing really well up here. Timely rains, not too hot. We had a very hot stretch in the month of earlier this month, where we had 12 days during the month of June at or above 90, where last summer we had 8 days all summer long. So, kind of a unusual warm start, but now we're getting back into quote unquote more normal like with these progression of the storms coming through. So the
block has broken down, and so the block caused your heat and a blockage of the storms for a while. So you had the heat and the lack of rain. Now you should be in the flow. There's going to be the chances of rain and thunderstorms the next 2-3 weeks. So before any big dome forms, let's hope you get the 1 to 2 inches of rain on some of those fields that have been missed. But there's going to be a few crops that probably will fail. For the majority, you guys in your region will be okay. And then Indiana, Illinois has a chance for some increased precipitation. That's why the corn prices have been coming down a little bit. But watch out. This summer is going to be tricky. This year's LRC, it's right on schedule. It is amazing to watch it happen. That doesn't make it any easier for the forecaster using the LRC. The whole system, it's right on target, and we're going to be accurate more than these other models that vary from day to day all over the place. The LRC is consistent.
Right.
It still shows the southern corn belt that will be a struggle. You're looking at this graphic here. If you're watching your screen, it shows the 11 predictions we made for severe weather season for when we thought significant severe weather would happen. And we made that prediction January 16th. So some of those are 150-day-long predictions. And we ended up being 10 out of 11. That's 91% accurate. And I know Justin's done some accuracy checks on the LRC. It's amazing when we get to that 90% accuracy, and it's really effective for at least 60% accurate. My goal is to always be 60% to 75% accurate. That means 25 to 40% of the time the LRC the pattern cycling close to 100% accurate. But our predictions are still, we learn more, we get better every year. But, Justin, you tell me, you've measured some of the accuracy.
Yeah, well, when we've been using it for the past, what has this been, 3 years?
Going on 3 years.
Up here, it's 80+% accurate every single year we've used it, and it's been the most accurate through the winter, which just so happens to be the most impactful weather that we have here up here. Not to say that the severe storms and tornadoes don't do damage, but I feel more people are affected by the winter storms, and we've been, I'd say 90+% accurate on these winter storms.
I'd flip that on the ag community because they need this more obviously for spring and summer.
They do, yes, and it works out really great throughout the summer as well. And I know that was one of the issues with it or not the issues with it, but with the unexpected block that formed, there's been a lot of people be like, hey, you guys said it was going to be near average in temperatures. Why did we have this 2-week hot spell?
It's early.
Well,
we still got all summer to go. It'll average itself out.
We'll get that answered and so much more. And if you want to join in the conversation and ask some questions for us or Gary, 701-293-9000 is the Red Wing Shoes phone line. Again, number 701-293-9000. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
They'll have you laughing right along with them. They're Bonnie and Friends.
Will we see sun, or is it going to be hiding all day?
Once the sun gets up a little higher angle, we'll start to see some. But
How come you didn't yell at Bonnie? Ty took your open, then she said, we're going to see the sun today? Well, it's in my forecast. Can't you wait till I do the forecast? But nobody yells at Bonnie. You don't yell at Bonnie.
No, you don't.
No.
You don't make Mom mad.
No, man.
Not good. You'll get thumped.
You don't mess with Iron Range chicks.
No, see, you are a smart man.
Bonnie and Friends. Catch them weekday mornings beginning at 5.
Mike Lindell has a passion to help everyone get the best sleep. He didn't stop by simply creating the best pillow. Mike created the Giza Dream Bed Sheets. They look and feel great, which means an even better night's sleep for me, which is crucial for my busy schedule. Mike found the world's best cotton called Giza. Ultra soft, breathable, but extremely durable. Mike's Giza Sheets, they come with a 60-day money-back guarantee and about a 10-year warranty. Giza Dream Sheets come in a variety of sizes and colors. Mike's latest incredible deal is the sale of the year. For a limited time, you're going to receive 50% off the Giza Dream Sheets. You will receive a set for as low as $29.98. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio podcast square, and use promo code WDAY. There you'll find not only this amazing offer, but also deep discounts on all MyPillow products, including MyPillow 2.0 mattress topper, MyPillow towel sets, and so much more. Call 1-800-875-0644. Use promo code WDAY. Go to MyPillow.com, promo code WDAY.
What do eyewear and weather have in common? Join us for the Aspire Optical Eye on the Sky weekly weather forecast to find out. Each Tuesday morning, Dean Wysocki, Justin Storm, and myself, Ashley Freeborn, owner of Aspire Optical, will bring you the 7-day forecast.
You never know where we'll be or how it will be presented, but we promise to bring you the most accurate forecast this side of the Red River.
And learn how you can save big on eyewear from Aspire Optical.
Watch the Aspire Optical Eye on the Sky weekly weather forecast on our Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter pages.
Trust us, this is weather and eyewear like you've never seen.
In this market, you'll find Fisher Investments is different than other money managers.
Different how? Aren't we all just looking for the hottest stocks?
Nope. We use diversified strategies to position our clients' portfolios for their long-term goals.
You don't just provide cookie-cutter portfolios?
No. We tailor our clients' portfolios to their goals and needs.
But you still sell investments that generate high commissions for you, right?
No, we don't sell commission-based products. We're a fiduciary, the highest standard of care for a financial advisor. It means we're obligated to act in our client's best interest.
So when do you make more money? Only when your clients make more money?
Yep, we have one transparent management fee structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Sounds like you really look out for your clients.
We do, because our priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. That might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
Angie's List is now Angie, and we've heard a lot of theories about why.
I thought it was an eco move. Fewer words, less paper.
No, it was so you could say it faster.
No, it's to be more iconic.
Must be a tech thing. But those aren't quite right. It's because now you can compare upfront prices, book a service instantly, and even get your project handled from start to finish.
Sounds easy.
It is, and it makes us so much more than just a list. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
Pucklet Chevrolet Buick GMC in Valley City makes it easy to find your next Chevrolet Buick GMC or pre-owned vehicle by offering a great selection at our best prices possible.
And welcome back to Weather and Ag in Focus. I want to thank everybody for joining us. 1:38 in the afternoon, and we are our special guest today, Gary Lezak, founder of the LRC, CEO of Weather 2020. I know, Gary, you have a lot of subscribers to Weather 2020. A lot of our ag community up here, and we want to thank our ag community for supporting Gary, and you got a great product, that's for sure. Mm-hmm. Gary, we've got a couple email questions. I need my readers on this.
Here's mine.
Yeah, it said, has the LRC been patented, and what is the process that has to go through to get it patented?
That's a good question. As you and I've discussed in the past week, I thought the patent had just gone through, but we did submit for a patent of the LRC system. The algorithm plus how it triggers response for the farmers and other businesses around the world. And basically it's called weather prediction using weather cycles. So we submitted the patent December 22nd, 2 years ago, and 18 months after submission, if it's continuing to go forward, they will publish that application. So that's what just got published.
Great.
Is the application. It got published so people can see what we're doing here. The official patent may take a while, and it does cost. I mean, it's attorney fees. The patent application to the U.S. government is not going to be that expensive, but to have it done properly and set up where it may actually get patented, it may cost up to $15,000 or $20,000 or $25,000. And so just know it's expensive to get these patents, but we're working on it. It's patent pending. And so the model is patent pending at this time.
Gotcha. And the same emailer, he must be watching on our streamline. He said, is that an Emmy that is behind Gary?
Yes. That is an Emmy and a dog, my stuffed animal, Windy the Weather Dog from the 1990s. But the Emmy, I've won 10 Emmys for best weathercast, for the winter predictions, 3 of them, winter forecasts using the LRC, have won an Emmy in the past. So the LRC system is actually an Emmy award-winning system. But yeah, that is an Emmy.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Tom emailed us. He said, "Hey fellas, could you?" And maybe Tom wasn't listening earlier, or maybe Tom's a new listener. He said, "Could you have Gary explain how he discovered the LRC and why didn't someone discover it long ago?" And you kind of touched on that earlier. So if you want to, maybe Tom just joined in. If you want to quickly touch on that.
Yeah, discoveries, why wasn't something discovered a long time ago? That's what's great about it, is that for us to be bringing you this technology and innovation, it's exciting. So behind me, on my wall also, you can barely see it, that mural of pictures is the year I found it. So I don't know if I can't really zoom in on that, but it's 1987, 1988. I had always been obsessed with the weather since I was 5 years old. I've always been interested in weather. The first thing I can even remember are clouds, and I was just fascinated. Went to University of Oklahoma, got a very good break when someone said a very bad word on TV, so you can imagine what that word is. And so he got fired, I got hired in 1986, and in 1987, 1988, a year later, we had a 1-foot snowstorm. And the pattern that created that 1-foot snowstorm would be like one that created a big snowstorm for you guys this winter. And then about 50 days later, if it was a 50-day cycle, I had another 1-foot snowstorm. It's on that mural. In Oklahoma City, they average 8 inches of snow a year. So when the second 1-foot snowstorm happened, I looked at the patterns, I analyzed the patterns, and it hit me. The patterns looked awfully similar. And so for the next 5 years, I paid close attention to this, and I developed my hypothesis by 1992, 1993. And it took another 10 years after that until I started sharing it on a very popular weather blog. And I would always look back. Don't you see that this snowstorm on January 20th looks just like the one in November 2 months ago? And the blogger said, "Gary, why don't you start saying, do you see this storm in November? We think it's going to return on X date or Y date." So I started doing that in 2008, 2009, and the rest is history. We got better and better and better, and we figured it out that it actually affects hurricanes. And you can actually predict down to tornado scale. There's a 95 to 99% tornadoes are not going to, if you get a tornado, you're not going to have another one in your town. But there's a chance you will that year, much higher than in other years. In Mayfield, Kentucky, I had 2 tornadoes separated by the LRC cycle. Sharon Springs, Kansas had that. And you're looking here at this cycling pattern produced tornadoes in 5 of the 6 cycles in this part of the pattern. And it isn't in the exact same spot every time, but sometimes it is. But that's where you can make predictions. But anyway, I'm telling you too much, but that's how it all got started. It was 1988.
That's awesome. Gary, we've got another emailer. He said, "Hey, I'm in the ag community, and so far, so good." He said, what does the rest of our summer look like in the tri-state area? So I'm guessing he's somewhere. He didn't say where he was emailing from, but tri-state area, so North, South Dakota, Minnesota. He wants to know, what's the rest of the summer look like up here?
The LRC will often say what has happened will continue to happen. So suddenly, as we went into the first part of summer, some areas started getting missed, and there's a good chance those areas will continue to get missed, and the areas that got hit was a good chance those areas will continue to get hit. So it's going to be not hit and miss. Many areas are getting hit in your region. So that's good news to prevent any drought from developing. And it's great. The LRC itself will continue to cycle on schedule. The jet stream retreats northward. So the same weather pattern is affected by a retreating and weakening jet stream as it shifts up into Canada, which is in the process of doing so right now. And so it definitely affects the anomalies of where the heaviest rain is going to fall and the areas that will get missed. That's why you talk about how accurate it is during the winter, because December, January, February into March have the same amount of energy. Now the energy is weaker. Our model, which you're seeing here, this is the 40-day outlook from June 21st, so a week ago, through July 31st, and it shows on the this is the Western Corn Belt, it shows most of North Dakota having 100% to 110% of average. And you can see there. In the Eastern Corn Belt, where there's been a struggle, it does show southern Minnesota and Wisconsin into northern Iowa and parts of Illinois and Indiana getting adequate moisture with near to above average rainfall. So that's what our model shows between now and July 31st. We also expect a heat wave to develop, especially over Indiana, Illinois, and over the plains to your south, that could expand over you towards the end of July for about 5 days. So there may be an impacting heat wave that would likely break down after 5 days.
That's good news.
That's good news.
That is good news. It's been a pretty decent start to summer. It hasn't been too hot, and kind of right as the LRC predicted, temperatures averaging pretty close to normal here in the valley, maybe a little bit above normal, and then the further east you go for the rest of the summer, temperatures averaging above normal.
And that's the fun part, is because June, yes, it's been above average, 10 to 15 degrees
the whole month
as a whole month. But if you average out our departure from average from when the LRC forecast was first given back in February, we are basically at average for temperatures as a whole, which is what the LRC forecast is. And then we break it down month by month, and because of the blocking, June was a little warmer. But Gary, I wanted to know, and so did an emailer, what has happened since your interview, your article with the Daily Beast? Has anything come from that, or anything with the company wise from that?
Yeah, a lot of good things. Even this interview from the world's greatest television show that they're trying to get us on, they found that article, so it's gotten us some really good publicity, mostly in the positive. There's a lot of critics out there. Some of you probably are like, oh, there's no way the pattern is cycling regularly and there's order to the chaos, but there is, and that'll come out more and more in the next few years. So the Daily Beast article has been positive, and at the end of that article, the writer suggested that if we are right about the LRC and the pattern cycling regularly, which I know all three of us, we don't have any doubt at all. It'll be the greatest scientific discovery since chaos theory, because it's order to the chaos. And if I'm wrong, then I'm just, some crazy weather dude. But as we both know,
you're like the Galileo of our times there, Gary. You're saying that there's order to the chaos. You're trying to prove everyone wrong.
There is order.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I love it.
So, Gary, if anybody wants to get a hold of you, follow you, what's or let's say they want to subscribe to the LRC, what's the best way they can get a hold of you or do that?
Yeah, you can email me at gary@weather2020.com. I answer as many as I can. I give you my text, but just email me. But to become a customer, you can join for free, but I don't do many free updates. So for just $300 a year, it is. Eventually, I will actually get to your county and give you your county forecast. Probably wait till next fall when the new data comes out. But you get a whole year's worth of information, and it's very, very important, valuable information. We'll talk about the developing El Nino. Go to weather2020.substack.com. There it is on your screen, weather2020.substack.com. You can try it for 1 month for $50 or $300 for an entire year. It's great information. I update it every single Monday now, so you'll get some valuable information. And I've done 2 LRC Ag special reports the last 2 weeks. Probably follow up with one more of those coming up next week. And on Monday, we'll have that updated for you. And we go over hurricane season as well. I was going to do a hurricane update. Hurricane season is fairly quiet at this moment, but believe it or not, we predicted an above average hurricane season. We'll talk about that. It's already started out a little bit above average. We've already had 3 named storms, and they've been small, but we expect it to ramp up soon, and we'll tell you where and when. That's what the LRC does, everybody. It's the only known system in the world that tells you where and when things will happen.
That's great. And Gary, one more time, that website before we head over to break with the American Ag Network.
Weather2020.substack.com. Thank you all. Spread the word about the LRC, and you're in on something big, and we appreciate all the support as we go forward. I think some big things are going to happen in the next year.
And if you have any questions on that, you can also just email us at weather@flagfamily.com. We can get you in contact with Gary, direct you to that website, or you can always head back through our past live streams on our YouTube channel, Weather and Ag in Focus. We're going to check the American Ag Network, and we'll be back with another look at the forecast, and we'll talk a little farm as well, so stay tuned.
Why work anywhere seasonally when you can work somewhere like Foltz Buildings? Foltz Buildings is a family-orientated business that treats you like one of their own. That's what you experience when you join the Foltz Building team in Detroit Lakes, Minnesota. They're growing and looking for full-time, hard-working post-frame construction crews, offering a $1,500 sign-on bonus, great health insurance and incentives after 90 days, phenomenal profit-sharing, retirement, and more. Call Foltz Buildings for more information or apply online at foltzbuildings.com.
What happens when you have tire problems on the farm? It's Welton's Tire Service for farm equipment repair, with on-site repairs on the farm that get you back to work faster. Farm equipment, tire repairs, and tire replacement, and all farm equipment is welcome. You can depend on Welton's Tire Service for prompt, professional service for all your on-the-farm, on-site tire service. Welton's Tire Service, located on Main Street in Lisbon, North Dakota, or give them a call at 701-683-5136. That's Welton's Tire Service.
At the end of a crazy day, let your stress wash away with the smooth taste of North Dakota Sweet Crude Orange. A new generation of taste from North Dakota Sweet Crude. The same smooth finish with a splash of orange. Enjoy a variety of drinks like Orange Crush, an Orange Fashioned, or an Orange and Rye Manhattan. 3 of more than 50 recipes using North Dakota Sweet Crude and Sweet Crude Orange you'll find at crudespirits.com. North Dakota Sweet Crude and Sweet Crude Orange. A great way to finish your day.
Enjoy time with family and friends in Fargo's best-kept secret, the Gastropub Backyard at Fargo Billiards. The Gastropub Backyard is the largest patio in the FM area. Enjoy nice weather with a signature cocktail, like their refreshing Shark Bite or Loaded Limeade. Make the most of your summer with a full bar, restaurant, bean bags, giant Jenga, and volleyball. Also available for private parties. So get your summer on with the Gastropub Backyard at Fargo Billiards, located just west of I-29 on 32nd Avenue South in Fargo.
A mixed day in the market trade. This is the American Ag Network. I'm Jesse Allen with this market update. Joining us now for market analysis, Arlen Suderman, Chief Commodities Economist at StoneX. Arlen, outside of a couple of the spot contracts here in corn and beans, for the most part, it feels like the grain trade as a whole is fairly quiet today. Maybe a little bit of minor short covering or position squaring ahead of Friday's big USDA reports. Is that the sense you're getting throughout this grain trade today?
Oh, I think that's part of the key as we go forward. We've taken a lot of weather premium out of these markets. Now these rains that are the reason behind that big sell-off this week are set to come here over the next several days. And so the market's kind of setting back, say, okay, we've taken out the weather premium. We expect the rains. Now it's time to see whether they actually materialize or not. In the meantime, let's position for Friday's big quarterly stocks and acreage reports. It's not that any big surprises are expected in these reports, but they're known for their surprises. And I guess that's what makes them surprises is when they're not expected. And so we're seeing more strength in soybeans. That's a market, that's a sector that has tighter supplies and therefore more vulnerable, shall we say, if stocks happen to come in smaller than anticipated, either stocks or acreage. On the other hand, corn has more playroom, more ability to absorb a surprise. And so therefore we're seeing less strength and more weakness in the corn market. Wheat, it's more of a consolidation today. So I think the focus is shifting while we wait to see if these rains verify over the next several days. The focus is clearly shifting to tomorrow's USDA reports and positioning for potential surprises.
And thank you. That is Arlen Suderman with Stone X. Livestock trade is mixed around unchanged. For the American Ag Network, I'm Jesse Allen reporting.
Welcome back to Weather and Ag in Focus. Thanks for rejoining us, 1:56 on this Thursday afternoon. If you just missed it, we had Gary Lezak, founder of Weather 2020, the discoverer of the LRC, on with us. We were talking about the LRC, what the rest of the year looks like. And again, if you want to go check out his membership for his website where you can get weekly updates on the LRC and even break it down county by county, that's weather2020.substack.com.
Yeah. And Mary just emailed a little late.
Ooh, just missed him, Mary.
She said, I listen to you guys all the time. Love your LRC reports. We have a family wedding outside of Detroit Lakes, August 12th. So, Mary, I forwarded that to Gary. He'll either be getting back to me or he might just email you directly on what that looks like.
Let me see what I got pulled up here.
You don't have the August calendar, though.
Well, I have the August information. I haven't published.
You haven't published it yet.
I haven't published August yet or September. But what was the date on that?
August 12th.
August 12th. It's right between two systems. Looks like the system right after that is going to be one of the bigger ones. So you'll probably be okay.
But remember, everything's been shifting a couple of days here and there. So if it's in between, that could be affected.
We'll see if that blocking reemerges in October or in August, which it shouldn't.
There's a system before the 12th and a bigger one after.
Yep.
Okay, so I'd be more worried about the bigger one after coming in a little early.
There's a minor one on the 9th and 10th and a bigger one on the 13th, 14th. So it'll probably be a day off. So it'll probably come in around the 14th. So I think that it's looking good right now for the area.
Yeah. So fingers crossed on that. We all like
happy brides.
Yep. But it's supposed to be good luck if it rains on your wedding day.
Rained on mine. I even had one clap of thunder on my wedding. There was a couple of scattered storms. A lightning bolt lit across the sky. My aunt's freaking out because we're on a boat in the middle of the lake and she's screaming my name. She's on the stern, I'm on the back or in the front, and I'm like, you're gonna be fine. It's one storm. You're okay. And a big old rainbow shot across the sky after that as the storm dissipated.
That's good luck right there.
It was great luck, and we're still married so far.
It rained at my first wedding. We all know how that went. It was sunny on my second wedding.
We all know how that.
How that went. Third time's a charm.
Let's just hope you don't get rain on your third wedding, because it doesn't seem like, well, actually, it doesn't matter if you need hail and lightning is what you need.
Well, both of them were outdoor weddings.
You need hail and lightning.
I need an indoor wedding next time.
Well, a black cat that went across the altar, right? Was there?
Oh, man. Well, we're going to leave that one. There's a joke there, but I'm going to leave that one alone. Let's run down a quick look at the forecast. We're looking at just a few cumulus clouds out there. We'll call it mostly sunny to partly cloudy the rest of the afternoon. Temperatures have pretty much steadied off now in the lower 80s. I don't think they're going to go much further. Some spots in the far southern valley may reach the mid-80s. Kind of breezy at northwest winds up to 25 miles an hour. Generally clear tonight, pleasant, and low down to 60. Northwest winds about 10 to 20, and northwest winds tomorrow continue about 5 to 15, mid-80s, a lot of sunshine. The weekend looks good. Upper 80s on Saturday, right around 90 on Sunday. Lighter winds on Saturday, breezier on Sunday. Now, can't rule out a pop-up storm or two over the weekend, but 90% of us are going to be dry. And then the best chance of storms coming in here during the late day on Monday as a cold front approaches the area. So that'll do it for Justin and myself. Bridgette had the day off today. She's enjoying it.
And you both have the day off tomorrow. Vacation. So it's just me in studio.
It is just you in studio.
And special guest host Sarah Lovis will be joining
That'll
me
be
tomorrow.
A good time.
So we'll see you tomorrow 1 to 2 o'clock in the afternoon. The Jay Thomas Show is coming up next with Tim Flackel.
AM 970.